doing? I am Shea, and these are my plays. I'm back for another episode of Shea's Plays, where I review television, movies, and yeah, even plays. I told you guys I was going to get into some special shows, and this is a special show. It is a Throwback Thursday show. This is actually at the request of my oldest brother, Steven. Shout out to my brother. And shows that some of the things in our family are passed down because this is one of his all-time favorite movies, and it is also one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm talking about the 1995 crime thriller epic Heat. I'm going to go ahead and get into the big pieces here. First and foremost, it has an all-star cast, okay? Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, a young Natalie Portman, Ashley Judd, John Voight, the Allstate guy. I mean, when you pull down the cast list on IMDb, it is the gift that keeps on giving. Hank Azaria, Tone Loc, Danny Trejo. I mean, it comes together so organically. We haven't seen anything like this in the decades since. Just a little bit of a synopsis. Heat, as I mentioned, is a 1995 Michael Mann crime thriller, okay? It takes the heist movie and it bumps it up a couple of notches with two acting juggernauts pitted against each other, all right? It's a fresh take on the cops and robbers formula that we haven't really seen since then, okay? It takes the suspense, it takes the relationships, and it bumps it all up to that next level, even over a slow, extended release format. Now, before I start gushing, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to get into it, okay? First and foremost, writing. I'm going to give the writing a 9 out of 10. The reason I give the writing a 9 out of 10, because I know you're like, man, this is great. Why is it not a 10 out of 10? Because just in the same way as we look at like Back to the Future, you can tell at certain points that Heat was written in the late 80s or the early 90s. There are some cliched lines. There are some plot points that are specifically 90s. Okay, and so that kind of drops it down a little bit. But Heat is a wonderful masterclass in relationships. Okay, whether we're talking about the ravages of divorce and what it does to a family, or we're talking about what it's like to be a detective or work in law enforcement, or how that relates to the families and friends of those people, or we're talking about recidivative issues of former inmates, okay? All of these relationships are woven together perfectly in a tapestry that represents the human condition, specifically the human condition in the United States, okay? Now, we're gonna move on to character development. Character development for me is a definite 10 out of 10. The reason I give that is because this movie, it is not only a slow burn, but it is a marinade of character growth and development. From the start through to the end, to the final seconds of the movie, every character has an emotional beat that is hit almost perfectly. There, for example, there's a character that's in the movie for 10 minutes, okay? And you are fully invested in what happens to this character. It's amazing. Whether the characters have a flat arc, have a fall arc, have a villain drop off, whatever it may be, a return arc, all of these characters, okay, are fully fleshed out characters with intricate motivations that often collide with specific plot points in order to drive that suspense and to drive that action and move the plot and the movie forward to keep us engaged. Okay, it's almost a perfect character study and character development. Whether we're talking again about characters that go back to their old life, or characters that have a change of arc, or characters that don't change at all, but those people around them are directly affected by their not changing. I mean, the character development is second to none in this movie. Rewatchability. It's a 9 out of 10. The reason that rewatchability is a 9 out of 10 is because, first and foremost, Heat is long. I believe that the full version of Heat clocks in at about 3 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. And I think that the movie itself, the action, the thrills, the development of the characters, all of these things, that holds up very well. But one thing that we saw a lot of in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even into the early 2000s a lot was the crime epic, to where you would get, a 2 hour, 45 minute, 3 hour movie to get a worldwide release. And that was normal. As to where now, in the 2010s and the 2020s, we've kind of moved on to long format television. That's why I say it doesn't stay in the same way that it used to. Okay, in the short of it, Heat would be a mini series nowadays. It would probably be a 3 or 4 part mini series. They might extend it or kind of cut down a little bit and just have it be 3 parts. But that's why I say the rewatchability is, when you watch it, it's not something, and I compare Back to the Future, to where you can just throw it on and watch it while you're cooking, or have it on in the background, because Heat is engaging. It is something that you kind of want to sit, you kind of want to watch it. Okay, and so you have to kind of buy out that time in order to do so. So that's why it knocks it down. But every time that you watch it, it is an amazing experience. Uh, Entertainment. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. Uh, Again, the only reason that I give it a 9 out of 10 is because of how he delivers on its promises. Going into it, it's a crime epic. You have these great cast of characters that are ultimately going to bring the story to life. The only thing that it doesn't deliver on is the action. See, the action is relegated to very specific parts in the movie, and it serves a very specific purpose. However, it doesn't fulfill the promises it makes in marketing. Okay, for us that are young enough to have remembered the previews for Heat, it looks very different than what the movie is. However, that plays into the role of the movie itself. So a 9 out of 10 for entertainment value. And finally, my Shea score. I think you know where I'm going with this. It's a 10 out of 10. The writing, the character development, the suspense, the cast. I mean, everything works seamlessly together in a movie that I just can sit and watch. It is that's something that I enjoy. I'm not only entertained by the movie, but it's something I want to go back and gain something from, and that's a big part of what drives my Shea score. And also, again, as I mentioned, it feels like something we won't see ever again. And I don't take that lightly, because of the fact that now in Hollywood, there's this idea of, let's create that all-star cast, to where it feels as if it just naturally came together. Natalie Portman was 14 or 15 at the time. Nobody knew that she was going to be the next, superstar. All right. The same when we look at some of the other characters, some of the other people. Danny Trejo was in his early stages of developing out his film career. Okay, and so it's just the organic nature of the film that gives it that 10 out of 10. And that, my friends, is Shea's Place. I'm going to be back with a new movie. I'm going to really jump into some newer films. And so I'm going to be scrolling through all of my subscriptions and see what's hot and what's not. And, we'll hopefully get out ahead of some things. I'm getting prepared because we all know in February, Ant-Man comes out. So I will be posting a spoiler-free review. All of my reviews, I try and keep them spoiler-free. But that's going to be coming in February, so I'm getting amped up. I'm getting ready. I'm trying to kind of hone my skills a little bit. But You know, as I say every time, I'm going to sign off. And I'm going to say, I hope that everyone watching this, I hope all of you have a great day, week, month, year, life. And as always, peace, love, and film. Now play my music.